Hey guys, I wanted to come to you today about fear. So we're going through some big energy shifts here in July 2021. And whether it's July 2021 while you're watching this or not, we all go through times when we're purging fear. But specifically during this time, it's a big purge of energetic shift happening right now. So I thought it'd be a good time to talk about four ways to work through and purge this fear. Fear usually is coming from a habit, emotional body. It's coming from old programming. It's coming from the past. And right now we're learning how to live right here, right now, in the now moment, in the present. So how do we do that? So I want to dive into four ways that you can work with your own fear. And have it shift pretty quickly if it's really ready to go, okay? So let's just dive in right now. Thanks for being here. Thanks for wanting to remember your greatness. My name is Rebecca Abraxas, and before we dive into these four ways, be sure if you resonate with this channel to subscribe and click the bell. Every Friday I go live with a live stream, Q&A on an awakening topic, and I also do sound healing. So be sure to click the bell so you know when I go live. All right, let's go in here. So when fear arises, okay, for me, I'm going to give you an example of when it comes up for me. I don't like driving at night by myself, like say late at night, or sometimes I don't like being home alone when I'm going to bed. A fear starts to come up. And when that fear comes up, I try these four things. And at the end, I'll tell you which one I use the most. The first one is when that fear starts to bubble up and you really feel it amping up, ask yourself this question: how old am I being? And all of a sudden you'll notice that like an age pops into your mind, and almost like an image of you at a certain age. That can happen, and it's really powerful work to find what age you're at, and then kind of go into that age of yourself. Close your eyes, it's like a little visualization, and take that little person and put her on your lap and just say, hey, we're okay. Hug her, give her what she needs at that moment. Perhaps she didn't get that at that age, and you as your adult self get to give that to you and say, hey, this is okay. This isn't, you are safe. Like, this isn't a real, something really that you have to be fearful over. So just, come on in, give your younger self a hug, integrate her back into your adult self, and give her what she needs. Soothe her and let her know she's safe. I know this sounds simple or kind of weird, but it really works. I've done it with a lot of clients with a lot of different types of fear, and it works really amazingly. So give that a try. Number two is you want to isolate the fear. So you're going to feel the fear, okay? And you're going to amp it up. Like if it had a volume knob, you want to bring it like way up. And you want to feel it, really feel it, and ask, where do you feel it localized in your body? And from there, you're going to find the body part, and then you're going to ask, you're going to tune into if there's a shape there, and if that shape has a color. And then you want to ask if that shape has a sound. And what's really cool, guys, is by just localizing it, giving it this attention, giving it a color, a shape, and a sound, whatever comes to your mind. There's no right or wrong answer here. You get to really tune in and give it the attention that it's asking for. Now from there, I want you to make the sound that you notice that it's being, okay? You're going to offer your voice to that fear. And just keep making the sound. And this is not to have it sound pretty. Make sure you're by yourself so you can be uninhibited. Just let that sound out. Let it out, let it out, let it out until you feel a shift. And when you feel the shift and it's ready to move, then what you can do, this is really cool, you can really tune into your source nature and really give it a high frequency sound so that you're now entraining it. So once it's ready to shift, then you can start to entrain it to a higher frequency of that source or that resonant wellness sound. So this is really cool. And I have other videos on my channel around this sound healing technique. So you can go find those. All right, number 3. If everything is consciousness, right? Everything's consciousness. Fear, anger, unconditional love. It's all consciousness. It's all just vibrating at a different frequency. And the frequency can be shifted and moved. So the cool part about this is that you could feel the fear and expand it out. Oh. You can take the fear, feel it vibrationally, and imagine just expanding it back out to a higher frequency of consciousness. What if it could be that simple? Give it a try. All right, and number 4, clear it, shift it, and use the access consciousness clearing statement. This is a really powerful tool. So this is part of the access consciousness work. And I use this a lot. So when the fear arises and things just start kind of snowballing and you're just feeling kind of terror and fear, you could just, ask what's important about this. And if nothing's really coming up and it just feels like a habit emotion, you can just say the access consciousness clearing statement, which is, and this is going to sound really, really weird, right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9, shorts, boys, and beyond. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9, shorts, boys, and beyond. Now, if this is kind of like an energetic magic wand, it just immediately clears and expands and shifts energy. If you want to know what that means, you can go to the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement, or it just might be clearingstatement.com. And you'll see Dane here. He's one of the co-founders of the work. He explains it all, what that Access Consciousness Clearing Statement is all about. But you don't have to know what it's about for it to work. So it's right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9, shorts, boys, and beyond. It's a really powerful tool. So guys, there it is, 4 ways to work with fear, to purge fear during this Great Awakening. Now, some people might ask, like, well, do we want to just purge it without knowing like where it's coming from or processing or being with it? You can. So if you want to ask the question, what is this? What's important about this? You want to ask those 2 questions before you come into these 4 clearing statements, or these 4 clearing tools. Do that. See what happens. See what awareness comes up. So if you ask yourself, what is this? And what's important here? You might get the awareness that there's something a message that you might want to get, or you might get that this is old and it's ready to move. This is just a pattern. So these 4 things that I just mentioned are for when you're really aware of that this is an old habit. This isn't fear trying to get your attention to something. This is very clear, a habit that keeps coming back and it keeps immobilizing you and keeps you kind of stuck. Access Consciousness calls this a distractor element when we have this reoccurring fear. Now, if you are at a phase in your life where you're like, this fear is telling you about a certain trauma that you really need to pay attention to, that's something that needs to be integrated, that might be some other tools. Actually, the first one might work well with that one. How old am I being? Because that really goes into, holding a past trauma as your younger self and really holding it and really allowing it, hearing what she has to say, being there for her, give her the attention. Really, like when we have trauma and when if trauma comes up as fear, basically it's like all we really needed at the time was things to slow down and to be held and heard and let the energy move. So really, that's really what trauma really needs. So the number one, how old am I here, really helps you if you are trying to process trauma, because it really helps you to tune in and become aware and offer just presence. Okay, and that's really what trauma really needs to shift and to heal and to move the energy through. Okay, so I'm going to repeat, guys. So number one, how old am I being, right? And work with that. And number two is isolate it, really give it attention with asking what color, shape, and sound, and use sound to move the energy. Number three, just a really easy, quick one, if you don't have time for a lengthy tool, is just expand the energy. And number four is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement, which you can find on accessconsciousness.com or theclearingstatement.com. However you do it, start to become aware of the fear that's getting in the way of your possibilities in your life. Fear can be paralyzing, right? Sometimes we won't go out of our house. We won't drive down the street. We won't start a new relationship. We won't leave a job or start a new job, or try an artistic expression like singing or drawing, because we have fear. I've worked with so many people that have fear of public speaking, that in their past programming, they are so scared to voice themselves because of what happened in their past. And so I've worked with that a lot with people. And these four things really help a lot with that. Guys, you're here on this video. You found my channel because you are on an awakening journey and you are ready to remember your greatness. So in remembering our greatness, know that you have the ability to shift fear out of your life. It's an old pattern. And if it's a new fear, then ask, what is this? What awareness, what am I aware of right now? So if you've cleared a lot already and then you have kind of like a new fear that's coming up, one, ask, is this even mine? So get clear if it's even yours. But two, you could ask, like, what am I aware of here? Yeah, what am I aware of here? But the four things that I just mentioned really is about clearing old stuff that's kind of irrelevant in your life now. But if you're noticing it's a new one, that is a super good question to ask. What am I aware of here? And, fear and most of our emotions, they're habits. They're habits from certain belief systems we have, and they can be really distracting us from our greatness, distracting us from remembering who we really are, distracting us from really ascending and sustaining those high frequencies that we feel compelled to live as, okay? If you're here, you probably feel like you have a deeper mission. That mission might be to like sustain high frequencies, and you can do that, but the fear has got to go. And I did mention that I was going to let you know the one that I tend to turn to most. The one I tend to turn to most is actually number 4. When I find that my husband's away and I'm in bed and I'm scared, I tend to just feel the fear, and then I just start rattling off the Access Consciousness statement. That seems to be kind of the quickest, and I just keep my thoughts at bay by saying right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. So that's the one I use at, in a time where I need it quick. I love using sound, like number 2, for ones that I'm processing, spending a little more time in my meditation process with. I hope this was super helpful. Let me know in the comments if it was helpful. Put a thumbs up or a star or something. And be sure to click the bell and subscribe if you want to join our live streams on Fridays. I go live, it's like a different time each day, but so be sure to get that notification by clicking the bell. And I will see you next time. Mwah.